What's up, everybody? It's your boy June 5th, June Money. And today we got a serious situation going on. Now, that's just my slogan. So I don't want anybody to get it twisted. There's no money being exchanged. Now, this topic was first introduced to my channel through the Turned Out Alabama situation, in which it became a trending topic on YouTube. In this documentary, 20% of men serving in U.S. prisons have been taken advantage of sexually. This film looks at the social system within prisons that allows these things to take place. Now, the storyline we have this evening is from a mother whose son is being extorted, assaulted, and y'all know the rest. Now, I want to say this. I'm glad that my platform has become a vessel for change and opportunity for people to get help. This live stream is to be taken seriously, and I ask that all audience and guests have respect for this woman because she has suffered enough trauma in her life, and we don't need to keep that up. See what I'm saying? So please, in the chat, all the jokes and stuff in the chat, let's try to take this seriously. See what I'm saying? All right, cool. I'm going to give her a call. Youngblood, you welcome to come up. You're welcome to come up. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, shout out Youngblood, man, for making this happen. He played a major role in this situation, man. When this Turned Out Alabama situation came out, Youngblood's perspective is he was a prisoner in the Alabama system, and he changed his life, but during that time he got experience and he knew that what happened on that documentary is truth. He saw it firsthand, and he made me realize, even through the conversation that I had with this woman, he made me realize that everything in that documentary was true, man. So yeah, Youngblood, I want to thank you for that. I appreciate it, bro. Can you hear me, Youngblood?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Okay, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to thank you for allowing me this opportunity and for bringing the truth to this situation, because a lot of times in this situation, it was definitely about, entertainment. And, we kind of get sidetracked sometimes, but sometimes we got to get to the seriousness and the facts of the matter. You see what I'm saying? And
Exactly, man.
and you stuck to that. And I appreciate you for that, bro. Most
Thank you, bro.
definitely. You're welcome. You're welcome. Can y'all hear me loud and clearly, or do I need to adjust?
Yeah, I hear you good, don't you?
You hear me good? All right.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna give her a call now. Give her a call. Yes. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right.
Okay. Just want to make sure the audience can hear you loud and clear. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So I laid down the groundwork. I told them that we were gonna be respectful towards you, even when they have questions for you in the audience. I'm gonna allow you your chance to answer. Right. The only person that's on stage with me currently is Youngblood, and he's basically here just to back me up and ask questions that may be pertaining to it that I don't know. All right. Okay. Sure. So we're gonna start right now. All right.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. So talk to me. Your son. First of all, let's start off with good evening. Right.
Good evening.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, so I want to thank you for coming on to my channel today. this topic is raising awareness to people to in this situation, what they could do, how they could seek some type of help, and it's also letting them know because this specific topic came on my channel through the Turned Out Alabama documentary situation. So this situation lets people know that that documentary has a lot of truth to it. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it also
Yes,
brings awareness to your situation as well. So I want to thank you for that, right?
you're welcome.
Okay, so we spoke earlier, so I kind of know some of these things, but let's start off here. Okay, you said that your son was being extorted, correct?
Yes,
Okay,
he was.
right. So tell me how that went. Tell me how the first interactions went. He called you and said, "Mom, this."
He called and said, I need money or they're going to beat me or rape me. There's all kinds of threats that they threaten. Did I question it? Absolutely. In my mind, not necessarily to him, but in my mind I did. But when you're on the phone with your child and he gets hit in the face,
Mhm.
and you hear the threats going to him.
Right.
From the people standing around him. That's very scary.
Right. Okay. So, all right. First of all, I'm sorry to hear that this is going on. This is definitely a situation that sounds familiar to what I've heard going on in Easterling and multiple correctional facilities in Alabama, if not all of them. You see what I'm saying? Limestone. I heard Montgomery is bad. All of these prison systems in Alabama have a bad reputation for extortion, grape, you name it. You see what I'm saying? So basically your son called you. Now, did he sound like he was in fear or intimidated or,
Oh yeah. Yes, he was definitely in fear.
Okay.
Because they don't fight one-on-one down there.
Right.
They do a gang thing where it's like 5 or more of them jump on one person,
right,
and beat them.
Right.
Same way with the grape. It's not just one person; it's more than one. Even if all they're doing is holding the person down that's being raped.
Oh man, this is crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah.
No. I'll say, back when he first went, I did not have near the concerns. I was ignorant to the way the system runs down here. And I think that's one reason I wanted to do this.
Right.
People think this does not happen. Oh, yes, it does. It happens every day.
Right.
And I'm not the only person it's happening to. My son is not the only person in prison that it's happening to.
No, that's a fact. So in the documentary, they say 20% of men in prison are actually getting sexually assaulted. You see what I'm saying? But in Alabama prisons, where the majority of them are 85% black men, and then the rest are the minority. You see what I'm saying? This is exactly what's happening in this situation. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a group of men, and they are attacking the minorities. You see what I'm saying? And this situation is black men, and they are attacking these white guys in prison, man. And this is actually happening. This is not racism. Y'all can't say none of that. All y'all can say is this is a serious situation for the human race, and we can't accept this. You see what I'm saying? So, all right. So when he calls you, like, do he use code words, or do he just flat out say it on the prison phone? Like,
oh, he'll flat say it. Because when he got raped, I think it was a little over a week ago, and I called, of course, Youngblood.
Yeah, ma'am. Try to say great. Try to say great.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you okay? You okay?
Oh, whenever I called Youngblood and everything. I called the prison. They contacted the prison. They actually took him to get a great kid. Done. And they put him down in protective custody, which is in solitary confinement. And, there's no other place for them to put him to keep him safe. But he told me what happened. He said, please call down here.
Right.
And the thing is, when you call, nobody wants to listen. And you don't, my biggest issue is you don't know who you can trust.
Yep. Correct.
You don't know if that guard's going to go beat your kid.
Wow.
And make things worse, or are they going to take him and get help? Or are they going to try to protect him?
Wow.
And I'm not saying that when people do wrong, that they don't deserve to be in trouble.
Yes.
But nobody deserves to be held down and raped.
No,
Sorry.
not at all. See, ma'am, there's a narrative going around that if you're in prison and you're in fear for your life, or you believe that you're about to get raped or something like that, you can just holler to the guards, hey, guards, or you can call your family easily and they'll just come put you in protective custody. This is the narrative that's being spent, right? But in reality, when you say these things, you're telling us that these are the things that you might face. You just told your business to a guard. Now this guard might be in with these guys. Now the guard secretly tells these guys instead of telling his superiors. You see what I'm saying? So that goes back to where the documentary is saying that it's the Alabama prison system that's basically assisting these guys and making their jobs easier. You see what I'm saying? Because if somebody's on a prison phone, it says when you call it, this call is being recorded, right? It says it as soon as the phone call answers, right? So they hear this person on the phone saying, "Yo, I'm being extorted. Please come help me." This, that, and the third. They might even hear him getting hit. They might even hear what's going on in the background. They might even hear all of these things. But are these people getting cases put on them? Not necessarily. No. Exactly. Yeah, go ahead. You tell.
No, I mean, they don't. They can actually kill somebody in there and not catch another charge. Murder's murder, whether it's on the inside of a prison or on the outside. Grape is grape, whether it's inside a prison system or on the outside. And I know it's very hard for people to understand it because it's blown my mind in the last 2 years that the prison system is actually this corrupt.
Yes.
And, like I said, I mean, I have jury duty in a couple of weeks. I don't want to be on that jury.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Because I'll tell the judge when I have to go the first day, I can't do it because I won't send nobody else down there. I'm not sending nobody to prison.
Right.
I don't want this to happen.
Yes.
So it is. I mean, the extortion amount, I would say, probably total has been about $25,000. Totally, but in one month, $15,000 in 1 month.
All right. Hold on, because we got people watching. We got an audience watching, right? So for the audience, she has paid up to $15,000 in extortion money for 1 month, and probably total $25K. Yes, that's serious money. That's not a game. That's not a game. So why hasn't someone with superiority stepped in? Because I know you can't be the only person that's going through this. You can't be the only mother, because it's a lot of victims out there.
Yes.
And those are the people that are not going to come up and just say, this happened to me, because they're the victim and they're a man. So you can't expect them to just come out and say these things. And
Right.
the men that do it, they're strong, but man, that's a serious situation right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, they'll be made fun of, things like that. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
This internet is a dangerous place, right?
Very.
So okay. They want to know also, how long has your son been locked up?
Like a little over 2 years
Okay.
in the actual prison system.
Right. And can you speak a little bit about his case? Not too much, just like his charge or whatever.
It was an assault charge. Assault in the second charge.
Right.
That's what he went to court for. We tried to stand your ground.
Mhm.
You know, of course, they just tried to shred it apart. And the thing is, you have crooked people here in the counties,
Mhm.
you know, that it may be the judge, it may be the DA,
Mhm.
because unless you have a ton of money, you are not going to get anybody off.
Right.
I think they just, you know, and my son come up for parole. Of course, it was denied.
Mhm.
There was 24 parole hearings yesterday in Alabama. 4 people got granted parole. 20 got denied.
Yeah,
20 denied.
that's crazy.
It's crazy, and they don't.
Yes.
I mean, the commissioner, the ADOC commissioner, will say the parole.
Me? Can y'all hear me?
I can. I don't know that you were talking to me, but
Nah, not you, the audience. I'm sorry.
okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out if they can hear me. Trying to find out. Okay, yes, they can hear me. Okay, right? So this is kind of where we stopped at. So I'm gonna just address it, right? So okay, he doesn't have no crazy charges, and even if he did, at the end of the day, people are people, and just because someone was arrested for any serious charges, they should still be held like they're a person, treated like they're a person, right? So okay, so they want to know, right? Who did you get in contact with? Did you try talking to the prison? Did you try talking to, like, who did you try to contact before you got in contact with Youngblood?
In the past, I called the governor's office, Governor Ivey's office. Nothing ever happened. Called the FBI on 2 different occasions and gave them a lot of information.
The FBI? Oh, no. The FBI?
The FBI.
The Federal Bureau?
Mm-hmm.
No way.
Yes, and I gave them cash out names, phone numbers for the people that were using him basically to extort money through him from me. And yes, I called the FBI twice.
This is crazy, bro.
It's just like nobody wants to help you do anything. And you don't know who you can trust. That's the biggest thing.
Correct.
You know, you don't know if that warden's dirty.
Yep.
You know, you don't know if the guard you're talking to is dirty. You just have to pray they're not.
Yep.
Jim, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Youngblood.
Okay. But ma'am, I have a question about your son. Once you was informed, when you informed the the shift command office or the DOC, people that was in charge of this, did they give your son what they considered um, like a great kit to see was he actually assaulted or not?
Yes, they took him into Montgomery
Okay.
to the hospital and
Yes,
did the
ma'am.
great.
Yes, ma'am. That's what I want to know because
Yeah.
I want to speak one more thing about Governor Kay Ivey. You know, we both know that she has been receiving multiple emails, and she have actually had people in her office trying to trying to change this situation around, and it takes more than a handful to do that. So that's why
Yes.
I'm glad you're on the podcast giving this out. And I'm glad, I thank June for having you on here too as well, so the people can actually hear this.
Right. See that's an
Yeah.
interesting perspective, young blood, because what you're basically saying is that there's probably so many cases that they are like backlogged. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And that's
yes,
great to like that's a crazy situation, man. That's sad to
yes,
hear.
it is.
Sad
Yes,
to hear.
And just think of all the people that have said nothing.
Yeah.
The
right.
great ones that have not said anything.
Mhm.
You know, because of the shame they feel. And,
Right.
you know, I know it took a lot for my son to tell me, you know, because I'm his mom. He didn't want to have to tell me that. But he felt like at the time I was the
Yes.
only person that would actually help in any way I could. It's just, like I said, and I never thought it would be this bad. Never in my life. But it is the worst prison system ever.
Mhm.
You know, nobody deserves it. Families don't deserve it. The inmates don't deserve it. And it doesn't matter who you are. Nobody deserves what goes on.
No, they definitely don't. It doesn't matter the race, the gender, the age. These victims are victims, you see. And
Right.
when it comes to the internet, there has been victims that came to the internet that said, yeah, this happened to me in prison, that happened to me in prison. But oftentimes they get ridiculed and shamed, and people don't believe their story, and they say, oh, you were involved with this and you were involved with that. But 9 times out of 10, nobody wants to be turned out. Nobody wants to be a prison wife or none of that type of stuff. You see what I'm saying? And I'm sorry that this situation has happened to your family. You see, but I want to ask you a question about your son, right?
Okay.
Just tell me a small tad bit about his upbringing. Was he religious? Did he go to a good school? What type of guy was your son, or is your son? Because he's still alive, right? Mm-hmm.
He was raised in a very strict household.
Okay.
Now, about 17, he started playing with drugs to the point, you got to get out of my house because it's just one of those, you can't tolerate it. It's hard not to tolerate it because you want to protect your kids.
Correct.
But he's always been one to work, and this is no kidding, daylight to dark. If he has to,
respect,
and work hard, yes, and he has respect for everybody he meets.
Right.
Holding the doors up for people. It's just an example, making sure his children has manners and respect when they talk. So, he's got all his certifications in welding, and he went to college for that, and was not locked up when he went. So, it's not that he's done nothing with his life. It's just he got and they threw it out, which they pretty much do everybody.
Yeah.
At least around here.
No, see, in the documentary, there's a guy. They call him Brad Lucas in the documentary, and he only went to prison for stealing like $200 out of a vending machine or something small like that, right? and
Right.
he only had 4 years, and he got taken advantage of in there. You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
you know, when I seen his parts in the documentary, it just like it's like that's a crazy situation. You know, he was fully taken advantage of, you know. And like you when you first got on, you said something like when your son first called you, you felt like maybe he is trying to run a game on me, so to speak.
Correct.
You know, what you right you're right for feeling that way, right? Um,
Yes.
but this situation wasn't that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He
Right.
actually was going through something, right? So
Exactly.
there's a guy named Hips, and this guy he's similar. He's a white guy that was in prison in Alabama, right? And
Uh-huh.
basically with Hips, the thing is they try to say he's not a victim because he indulges in this stuff, right? But Hips says he was held down by 5 men. He says all these different things, right? Like, and you just kind of collaborated that story. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You said, look, it doesn't happen one guy at a time. All these dudes are in
Yeah,
cahoots with each other.
Yes.
They come in,
exactly.
it's 5 or 6 of them. Hit said 5, and you said 6. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
that's not far off
yeah,
from the truth, man. This is
No.
actually happening in Alabama correctional facilities, man. You see, and it could be happening all across the United States, bro. Let's be honest. You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
So okay.
Correct.
So I'm gonna get into the next question, right?
Okay.
Okay, so you seem like a well-respected woman, right? So I don't think you care about race, correct?
I don't. I don't.
Exactly, right?
Color does not matter to
Exactly.
me.
Right.
It's the person on the inside.
hmm Right. So a lot of people would say that this is happening because the white guys or the Hispanics are the minorities in Alabama prisons, but in other prisons they might have more numbers, or they might have organizations that they could join to keep themselves protected, right?
Yeah.
Um, what just from you probably don't have the solution, right? But I'm just gonna ask anyway, right?
Okay.
What kind of solution to this problem do you think? Like what kind of solution can you offer to this problem?
I think they need to hire more guards,
Okay.
and I think
Yeah,
guards need to be drug checked on the
Hmm.
way in because so many of them smuggle the drugs in and give them to
right.
the drug dealers. You know,
Hmm.
and of course they're making all this extra money on top of their paychecks,
Hmm.
so they're not going to protect somebody that the gang's after, or somebody that's stealing or
Right.
something. They're not going to protect that person
Right.
because that could cost them money.
Hmm. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. See, that brings up another topic about contraband. See, the contraband is really the key to everything, and especially in Easterling prison. They have a news
Yeah.
article out right now from a week ago. This guy got locked up with like 5 pounds of weed. He had
Uh-huh.
multiple knives. He had cocaine. He had methamphetamine. He had all of these things in prison, right? And from
Yes.
your perspective, my perspective is probably similar, but from your perspective, how do you think these things get into these prisons? How do you think these contrabands enter the prison mostly?
Mostly, I believe, by the guards.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I believe.
Yep.
And I mean, my son has seen it,
Hmm.
where a guard would go into the bathroom and hand off the drugs.
Wow.
Yes.
So, yeah, he's seen it twice.
That
And of
that
course,
guy.
he can't tell it to still kill him.
Right. I was just about to say that has to be a terrifying situation. Can you imagine your life being threatened people calling your mother, you in prison, and you see the people that's supposed to be protecting you, are with those guys, are
Yes.
in with the program. Yeah, Alabama prison is a wild place, man. Yes. Okay, they wanted me to ask you this question. Um,
Okay.
is your son or was your son ever in protective custody?
He is now.
Okay.
He was not in the past. I think with the help of Youngblood and all, and his wife, between all of us, we were able to get him into protective custody.
Right. And I believe you answered this earlier, but I just want to rehash on this, right? Because this
Yes.
is a major point in this topic, right? Listen, y'all heard what she just said. She tried, he didn't go there automatically. This happened to him twice. He was sexually assaulted 2 times before he can even go to protective custody. She tried to get him there before, and he still wasn't able to get there. So the narrative that's going around that you could just say, hey, they about to break me, or they extorting my mom. That narrative that's going around is not true. It's not true.
No, it's not.
They are not just moving you just because you go to the shift office and put in a slip. You see what
No.
I'm saying? And it sounds like
Yes.
that's true, but that like this situation is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Cause see, right.
yeah, go ahead, young blood.
Cause see, right. Yes, right now at Eastern Correctional Facility, they is so short staffed of guards that I actually have information from a guy that calls me daily, and they having the warden and the lieutenants are doing the counting now, meaning that there is going counting the inmates that are in. The warden never counts. The warden is the one who oversees the prison, but he's actually having to come in and count. So they have a shortage of guards, and by them having a shortage of guards, the inmates can do exactly what they want to do. The inmates is actually running the prison facility. Sunday was a day where you have 2 meals. The guy called me and asked for me to call the shift commander office because they fed them at like 3 o'clock that morning and then feed their last meal in his dormitory apart to 9:15 that night.
That is wild.
So it's not only so much of sexual assault going on is running rapid, but it's the humiliation and the inhumane treatment of the inmates as well. There's a
Correct.
problem, and this have been addressed to Kay Ivy multiple times, and it is on her desk again as I speak. So we is on another situation with that. Just wanted to put that out.
Right. So this question I have for this woman, right? So earlier we talked, right? And when we talked about like the mind games and the strategies that inmates have. Can you speak more about that right now?
Well, I mean, their biggest control factor is when they, for extortion purposes,
Right.
they know the inmate don't have the money. They literally are going after the families.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have that kind of money either. But I do my best to protect my child. And they'll play up and try to be their friends. And it's not just my child. It's probably happening to, I'd say, at least 25-30% of the people that are in there.
Yeah.
That's right.
They want to be your friend. They want to do this. Oh, they'll help protect you.
Yep.
And they turn right around and screw you over.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all a big money game. They're paying people deals out here in the world with all the money they're making by selling drugs and stuff in there.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's insane.
No, I definitely believe you, man. This guy has told me that you know, he lived a luxurious life off of people in prison, right? So, um, so okay, they're using their numbers. So okay, they could walk up to a guy, right? And they probably, let's say, how deep would a gang be in prison, young blood? Like
Okay, you
on a yard.
yeah. Okay, you actually have different gangs of all
Yeah.
different sets, and
Okay.
within these gangs, you would have from at least 20 to 30 members of the gang. Now, but inside these gangs, they also have their different cliques, their different sets with inside the gang activities. And you have
Correct.
out of that 20 or 25 gang members, you probably have about 10 that's going to be doing strictly extortion. And this is what they does. And the others know about this as well. This is why it's like a hush hush mouth, because I don't want to tell on you because you bringing the money in, or I'm doing the same thing that you're doing.
Hmm. Okay, so they might walk up to a guy, right? It might be one person, and correct me if I'm wrong, young blood, right? So
Uh-huh.
they'll walk up to a guy.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be like, "Look, I'm this gang, right? And if you want to keep everybody off
Yeah.
your head, you gotta pay me this money, right? Or I'm gonna protect you, but
Yes.
you gotta make sure you pay me, right? And being
Yeah. Yes. This this
outnumbered,
particular this particular this particular guy that goes out to actually, he's like what you call a worker. He's the one that actually goes out to seek these individuals out, and this how he make his move. They actually say that one guy goes out to threaten you, and the other guy comes in to defend you. Now, the one
right?
who have defended you, you would think that this guy is your friend, but all along he is coercion with the other guys as well. This is strictly what they call the boo game. The boo
Right.
game is nothing but coercion to make you think that I'm your friend. I'm one who gonna help you do your time or protect you. It's not a real friendship. It's the boo game.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I
that's a good
definitely
that's a good
understand. It's
play,
like a
man. That's
strategy,
really
man.
good.
It's
Yeah,
like a
Yes.
strategy. So okay. So
wicked.
our focus needs to be more on the victims in these situations,
Yeah,
but also the
Yeah.
families. You know, after prison, after these victims get out of prison, I think they need counseling. I think they need therapy, and I definitely think they
Yes.
need a loving family and a loving mother like this woman, right?
hmm
Um,
hmm
Yes.
because this situation, when once you get out of prison, is like, who do you talk to about it? You're not gonna just want
Exactly.
to talk to the your females about it. You know, you're not gonna want to just talk to
Right.
your friends about it. So who can you actually talk to about it and feel comfortable that you're gonna get some help? You see what I'm saying? So,
Yes.
man,
Hey,
uh,
hey, can I
what
ask
are
a
the next
question too?
steps for your son? And is he okay at the moment? Like, how's he doing at the moment? What's his current
He's
situation?
okay.
Okay, he's doing okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's handling it. He has no choice.
Right,
Of course, he has. He'll be home before 2026. I'm not gonna say the month or anything, but he
right.
will be home
Yes.
by then. And
Okay,
I've already told him, we have to have counseling lined up. There is no
Exactly.
choice because you got to process all this.
That's right.
PTSD, Lord, he's going to have that.
yeah,
And
for sure.
so
That's right.
I have to make sure that he gets in with the right people
Of course.
to where he
Yes.
can get the counseling that he needs
Hmm.
and the help he
Yes.
needs. And it would be better if the prison system had some kind of class for them to do something. But
Correct.
at
Yeah.
Easterling, there's nothing. There's nothing.
Nothing for the
So
inmates.
nothing for them to do at all.
Right.
Yes. And that's what have created the problem.
Mm,
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
That.
sorry.
Yeah. No, we just backing up what you're saying. That's all. You free to talk, man.
Hey,
Yeah, I
Tim,
mean, I think that makes it worse.
Yes, it
You
definitely
know,
makes it worse.
if you're
Yes.
going to
can I
rehab
ask a
somebody, and the people that had to thought they had to sell drugs, and I'm sure there's some that literally did. They didn't have parents there, you know,
Yeah.
like I was always there. But teach them trade. You ain't got to give them a 4-year college degree, but teach them a trade, masonry, welding, something. So when they get out, they have a chance to go to work somewhere and get a real job. And that would help so many inmates,
I agree, man.
be able to come out and find a job.
Yeah,
But
because
there's no rehabilitation in the Alabama prison. None.
That's right.
correct. And like Young Blood told me this interesting fact the other day. He told me that they're studying this documentary actually in corrections and law enforcement. They're studying this documentary, right? So they
Yes.
are aware that these things are taking place, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So based on that, how do you feel? How do you feel about knowing that? Like they know about these things, but it's still going on today.
It just makes you angry. I mean, I have so much anger toward ADOC,
Yes.
because this should never happen. It shouldn't happen to my child. It shouldn't happen to anyone else's child.
No, it should.
Nobody
That's right.
should go through
hey,
this.
can I ask you a question, ma'am?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Did your son ever send a note to the police saying these things were happening to him? Did he ever did he
Yeah.
try to do anything like that?
Yes, he's tried to talk to him before. I know the first time the rape occurred. Sorry about that, y'all.
It's okay.
Yes.
I called down there, and they were supposed to pull him and talk to him. I came 2 hours and called back. Now I talked to the sergeant, and when I called back, they said they went and talked to him. No, they didn't. They just told me what I wanted to hear over the phone.
Yes.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's what made it happen again. And then I guess we just looked up and caught a good, guy in charge that day that actually listened and went and talked to him. And, but they're not going to say anything where another inmate can hear them. They're not. That's fear for your life. And that's why they
Yes.
don't.
Yeah, they definitely fear for their life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I would be fearful. Like, man, that's a crazy situation to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So
Hey, I got a couple. Can I ask
go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, this is just like my co-host,
so-
God Soldier. He comes on my channel all the time. But yes,
Okay.
go ahead. Go ahead.
So people in the comments were asking some good questions.
Okay.
Somebody asked, was they calling you from a cell phone?
Good question.
He has called from a cell phone. I know it's not his phone.
Right.
And he has called from a cell phone and said, Mom, will you tell this guy that you can send maybe $100 by such and such day? And you can hear the people in that room. You hear all the
Yes.
because they don't hide it. I mean, they don't hide the fact they're going to threaten to kill them or beat them or grape them or whatever. If they
they're serious, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Youngblood, you might know the answer to this question, right? So the prison phone calls that are recorded, they don't get reviewed and heard. They don't hear this stuff going on.
Well, the prison phone calls that are all prison phone calls that you make from the prison, not on the cell phone, they are recorded. However, they don't have the staff to actually listen to all the recordings that is going on
Mm,
unless they have a time frame. It's like having a camera. If something take place on the camera, you have to have some type of time frame of when it took place because they don't have ones to actually sit there and listen to every phone call.
right, right. That makes
Hmm.
sense. So, the issue is being
So that's
understaffed,
why.
right?
So that's why they uses the cell phones, and the
Correct.
cell phones started out to be a good thing, even though it was contraband for the inmates to get out what was going on behind the wall or behind the fence. But it took it to another level, and they actually started to use these phones to extort families because if you're going to make a call from the prison phone, they have to be on your what they consider your phone list. And on your phone list, you only can list so many people on that list. If not, the phone it won't go through.
Hmm. No, I
Yes,
hear
so
you.
that's why they have the cell phone. Yes.
Okay,
They're
okay. Not
using Cash
that
App.
makes sense.
They using PayPal. They're using Zelle to extort these families. This is what they're doing. They're using all kind of these accessories to be able to get money from families. They constantly doing that over and over again. And like I say again, the governor of Alabama knows about this. She
Hmm.
knows about this. And the thing that she is saying is that this is why we are going to continue to build these two mega prisons so we can separate these criminals or inmates from one another. Because like you have a guy have 4 years, he going into a facility like Easterling, that's a level 4 facility. That's
That's
a
not
little
cool.
bit, that is like a medium camp. It's just a little bit down past Limestone or St. Clair or Holman, but it's still a violent prison. These are the ones that to go to Eastern you can have from 20 years to life supposedly, but you have guys there like her son don't have long to do, and they prey on these type of individuals as well.
Right. Yeah, I could imagine, like, somebody only got 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, and they got
Yes.
life. So they don't care about throwing their life away. Like, you know what I'm saying? They don't care about
No.
catching no
No.
charge.
No.
They don't care about none of
and
that
and,
stuff.
and no, and like ma'am said, that they don't care about what's going to happen to them because the guards are in cahoots with them. These are their buddies. This is why the inmates can't go out and say, let me go to the shift commander office and speak out against this or that, because when he does, he's putting his life in danger. So a lot of them can't make it to protective custody because they don't have the people on the outside to speak up for them. Just so happened that ma'am got her son um, out of general population and put in protective custody.
Right.
And he might not like it, but it's better for him to be in protective custody than in general population.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, especially in this
Yeah.
situation. Because I was going to
Yeah.
ask you that, like, what type of solutions did the governor say that she was offering? It's a lady, right? Young
Uh-huh.
blood. So
Okay.
that
You asked me that, ask that question again.
what type of solutions did the governor say that she could offer to help this situation?
Okay.
Like
Okay.
maybe. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. As of now, the governor has said that she is supposed to hire so many correctional officers, and the ones that in charge now should be very scrutinized, meaning that when they enter into the camp or the prison facility, they should be strip searched as though
Mm-hmm.
they were an inmate. This is what she have
Yes.
implemented. Now, whether it's being done or not, I can't say, but she has said they should be scrutinized upon coming into their shift. If they come on, they should be strip searched. Years ago, they didn't do that, but she have said this what should happen. And she has said that they have hired so many extra guards now, but you have about I think it's like 26 facilities in Alabama. So if you got 100 COs that's coming out, can you imagine how many you have to spread out abroad among the penal system? So this is what she's saying, but the numbers just doesn't add up.
Yes.
Hey,
I
The numbers
agree.
is
doesn't
she
But
add
still
up.
here? Is she
like
still here?
like okay. For instance, right? They say okay, there's bank accounts that are connected to those apps, right? And it's traceable.
Yes,
So
yes.
ma'am, right? Why hasn't, like, okay, you said you contacted the FBI. Did they get back to you or provide you any type of information, or because you have the receipts to the cash apps and everything that you could send to them, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I gave them cash names, even some phone numbers.
Okay, you gave them that.
Like the people on the outside.
Right. And
And
it's traced back
they
to
were
the
going,
families.
and yes. And it's like they seemed really interested, but then they absolutely have not responded anything about it. And I literally talked to them. I did not have to leave them a voicemail. I actually talked to someone.
Right. Because I'm trying to think in my head, like, can they charge the people who are receiving this money with anything? But at the same time, these people can easily say, oh, I didn't know they was doing that. I thought they were just sending money. You see what I'm saying? So they'll probably make it to where, if this continues, they'll probably make it to where, well, that's impossible at this point, right? For people to not receive money from prisoners. Well,
Okay.
yeah.
Jill, can I
Yeah,
interject on that?
Go ahead.
Right now, if an inmate get any type of money from a cash app, Zelle, PayPal, it is illegal. They have to go through the system called securities. So anyone that have received money from a cash app, they will be prosecuted. So, ma'am, this is why we got to stay on Montgomery ass about this, because this is not how an inmate supposed to receive money. No inmate should have a cash app account, PayPal, Zelle, or nothing like that. So the names that we have, they will be prosecuted. They will be prosecuted to the fullest.
Well,
Yo, can I ask
hey,
you a
man,
question?
they should. Yeah, go ahead, God Soldier.
So I was wondering, because I think you said something happened to him twice. So does that mean like you was giving them money and they were still like beating your son up and then violating him or doing whatever? I mean, why would they do that? If you're paying them, why would they beat him up still?
Can you hear his question?
Yeah, I heard his question. Well, you can only have so much money that you can pay them with. So my money got low, and then I couldn't pay them.
Right.
And so that's what the extent they went to was, the grape, and I can't tell you how many times he's been beaten.
That is crazy. Yeah, I'm sorry that you had.
Yeah, that's
sorry
a
he
crazy
went through
situation.
this. I'm sorry People should go do their time and not have to worry about that happening to them.
Yeah.
Correct.
No,
Those people are sexual predators. They should be locked up in a whole other dormitory by themselves. They should be away from other inmates. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
And
They're monsters. They're monsters. Yeah, they're monsters.
Sure is.
Straight up.
I mean,
Yeah,
So
they
so far,
don't
man.
deserve they don't deserve a release date ever, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah, I definitely agree with you. So, all right, so in this situation, he hasn't received any other justice besides going to protective custody. The guys who are extorting him, beating him up, raping him, none of them, not one of them has been caught.
no.
That's crazy.
And June, I want to say this, ma'am. Explain to them they haven't been caught, they haven't been convicted of it, but it's under investigation. And once you go to Montgomery and they get their test, this when they bring your DNA. And these guys, when he get with the names that was given, they will be prosecuted.
Okay.
So he
They
got the
will be
kit done
charged
to
for
him,
that.
and did they found evidence that something happened to him in the kit?
Well, that's kind
I'll
of
let her answer that.
Huh?
no, it's okay. We don't want to get too personal. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We want
I
to
didn't
stay
know.
away from, you know.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm sorry. My bad. I
No,
apologize.
it's okay, bro. It's okay. You just curious, man. I understand.
Well,
Mhm.
Yes.
Go ahead, young blood.
And yes, like I was telling ma'am, there's an issue. The money that was cash app to that prison, according to the cash app rules, that money will be reimbursed to you.
Mm.
We will
Lord,
explain that to
yeah.
you how that happens. So you don't have to worry about that. That money will be reimbursed. But our focus is to get these monsters the charges that they deserve, and it will be prosecuted.
Yeah, they
They
should
will
never.
be.
Yeah, they should
all right, that'd
never
be awesome.
get away with this. There should be no statute of
No,
limitation. I don't think it is a
it's not.
statute of limitation,
It's
but
not. It's not.
this
It's
is
not.
acceptable.
It's not.
Yeah,
And
It's not.
I have
Murder, and grape. Go ahead, man.
said
Go
again,
ahead,
man.
man.
I still have all the notes that I was just writing down stuff when I was on the phone with the FBI.
Okay.
Yeah.
The times I called them, and I don't delete any cash apps. So I have every cash app that money has ever went to.
Hey, that's on
Great.
them. That's great that
Great.
you have all that information because these guys don't deserve the backup. They don't deserve somebody to help them out and assist them in doing this to people. This is not cool. Like, and okay, they want to say gang, and this is my partner, but if that's your partner, why are you helping him do this to people? If that
Correct.
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying? So
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
the audience wants to know, right? How is this affecting not only you, but how has this situation affected your family in general?
It's a situation that we don't talk a lot about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as far as me and I mean, they know all has happened,
Okay.
but it's unless you've been there,
Right.
like I've been there, or an inmate, you really can't wrap your head around this
Yep.
because
Of
it
course.
sounds so insane.
Mm-hmm.
And the sad part is it's a reality. It is what the families live with every day. It's what like it's children. It's been really hard on them. Of course, they don't know details. They just know Daddy's gone.
Right.
But it's horrible for their kids.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I'm not going to say people that do things wrong don't deserve to be in trouble, but they do not deserve what's going on.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. They
Yes.
deserve protection.
Yeah.
Even if they're an inmate, it doesn't matter. See what I'm saying? That doesn't matter to me. I'm not worried about that. See what I'm saying? We're all human beings. We all deserve safety.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Absolutely.
You guys got some more questions? Anybody?
No,
So
I don't have any. I don't have any. I don't have any. Now I just want to make sure that.
Yeah, go ahead. If the audience has any questions, start typing them up.
Yeah, the audience, yeah.
We now hitting the hour mark. We now hitting the hour mark.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have been. I mean, I know that you was scared as could be, man. The first time you ever got that phone call, what was like the first thought when you got a phone call from him saying that people were going to do this and this to him?
I mean, in your mind, you're thinking, "Oh, this can't be happening." You know, there's guards there. There's wardens. Well, number one, you'll never get a warden on the telephone. I ain't never accomplished it. And then they are down on guards. I mean, I agree with that. They don't have enough to control the prison. So your inmates are actually running the prison. And Youngblood was right about that. So whatever they want to do, it's like your heart just sinks. And then you have the thought, what can I do to save my kid? And people go, oh, it's crazy. I wouldn't have never done that. You don't know unless you've been in those shoes. You don't know what you will do to save your child.
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry this happened to you.
And ma'am, I want to say one thing. There's a lot of people that's in the chat that is willing. They ask the question, how can they help? And if you don't mind, you can explain how can they help. If you don't want to, I will go on the live with Yoon and explain to them what we need to do and the process on how we should do it.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead. I think we all got a few answers. Like I have a different answer maybe, but she has her own answer. Go ahead, man.
I think the main thing is you got to get the right people in there. The guards have to do their jobs. You know, it has to be staffed so they can. But I think one thing that will stop a lot of the drugs going in would be guards were searched. If I go see my son, I have to go through a drug dog.
Correct.
So, you know, we have to be willing to be searched and everything. Why would you not hold that standard for your employees when they know your employees are doing it? I mean, they've arrested several of them.
Yes.
And as long as that keeps getting in there, you're giving those inmates more and more control to do the things that are happening that are wrong.
Yeah, these things are so really in this situation, all like I kind of think they're asking what can they personally do to help you, but that's gonna get too personal. So so
basically
really
you need some kind of prison reform. You need you know what I mean, life like you're saying earlier, you gotta take the lifers and put them all together and put the people doing like 20 years all together and people doing 5 to 10 all together and so on. You know what I mean? And that way people that is doing small sentences can try to learn better and not be influenced by the fucking lifers. You know, or not being messed with by the lifers.
Yes, can I interject one time? I would like for the audience to please write to Governor Kay Ivey and express your opinions about Alabama prison system. The governor has to get this. Like I said, numbers matter. If we storm this office with letters of concern about Alabama prison, we can make a change. That's very important. Kay Ivey.
All right. I will.
You can go online. You can go online and Google Governor Kay Ivey email. She's in Montgomery, and this will really, really help.
Yep. And when I find it, I'll post it on my page. I'll post it on my community. Whatever y'all could do. Share this video. Y'all don't even got to hit the like button. Share this video to raise awareness. Raise awareness. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Thank you very much.
That I could do. You know, ma'am, I want to say thank you for sharing your story. I'm praying for you. I'm sad that this happened to you and your family. And I'm praying for your son. I'm wishing him the best. Definitely, I hope that he gets the counseling and help that he needs. Right?
Amen.
Yeah.
Yes.
And God bless you.
And I appreciate you letting me tell the story, because so many people just do not realize what's going on.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes. I think you opened a lot of people's eyes this evening, for sure.
I hope so.
Yes. Greatly appreciated. Right. I'm not sure if you want to stick around. I'm going to open up the panel now for people to come up and speak on this topic or share their opinion. But like I said, please, audience, if y'all do come up on the panel, please just respect, this topic. So yes,
Yes, man.
I know it's getting late, so you don't have to stick around.
Okay. All right.
Yes, and thank you very much. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you,
for
man.
coming.
Yeah, I
Thank
think we'll
you.
be back. Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Yes. I'll be in touch with Youngblood, and then he'll get us in touch. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Well, thank you. Yep. Thank you, and have a good night.
All right. You
Yes,
too.
thank you. Have a good night. All right. Bye-bye.
Yep. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, June. I really appreciate this live, man, that you gave, man, because it really going to help, man, because like I say, we only have a handful in the Alabama system that's willing to help, and the ones that's there can't really speak out because of job security. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is sad, but that's why I couldn't have a job in that field, because I just couldn't be silent about injustice at all, So I really appreciate, man, you coming on, man, and giving the other people the ability to share your podcast from tonight, man. I really thank that, man.
Yeah. I want to thank you too, YB. I want to thank you too. I definitely
Yeah,
appreciate you.
man.
I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
I can't make it all
Oh
public,
yeah.
but from this point of
Yeah.
view, man, you cracked
Yeah.
this one. You know what I'm
And
saying? And I
yeah, and that's
definitely,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. Cause
Yeah.
see,
So
it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things that I can't publicly speak on social media about the governor. But
yeah, I know.
there's limitation. But I would give as much as I can on social media so the people will know that certain things I can't say because it's limited. But again, we're doing our best.
Right. And I'm sure the governor is doing her best as well.
Oh yeah,
But
yes, she is.
yeah, just for the sake of
But
the topic,
when
yeah,
you
go ahead.
yes,
No, I was going to
and
say,
it's just certain things that you go ahead, June.
no, I was going to say, just for the sake of the topic, I was going to end this live and start another one. But so that when they
Okay,
share
cool.
it, it's all in one live. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, okay, bro.
Shout out
Yeah,
to
I
all
see.
the audience.
And I click
Yeah.
on you next week.
June, can't you just cut this? Can't you just
Um,
cut this?
Did you start?
I'm just saying, you got
I
people
think
here
you probably
already.
ought to start another one. I think you
Because you
probably
still
ought to
need to
start
cut
another one
all.
so it won't.
All right. Yeah, I ain't gonna tell you what to do.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna tell you what to do. You know what I mean?
I just
yeah,
think you should start another one.
I really don't know how to do that, guys. So I'm gonna be honest with you. You know what I'm
All
saying?
right.
So
I thought
I'm gonna
maybe
just
through
cut
editing
one
or
and start
Okay.
another one. If y'all join,
All right.
y'all join. If not, the next one is just open panel just to talk. But thank y'all for coming through. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate the audience. Shout out 10 Heartless, Crim, Ebook, Blue Blood, Dante Show Network. Shout out NS. Shout out everybody. You see what I'm saying? And God bless.
Okay.
Yeah, shout out.
All right, man. Take care. All right. Bye bye.